This is Rummy's Corner. Good evening, boxing fans, and welcome to part 3 of 13 in the new boxing survey series. Without repeating everything I mentioned previously, this is the scoring system where 18 volunteers provided me a chronological list of between 10 and 25 names whom they believe represent the greatest pound-for-pound boxers who competed in the 1910s. Let's rock. At number 10, we have Jack Britton, an American boxer known as the Boxing Marvel. Britton was a masterful boxer with an incredible chin, who is known for being able to adapt extremely well during the ebb and flow of a fight. The Boxing Marvel was a 3-time world welterweight champion, having won the title in 1915, 1916, and 1919. His last reign, which lasted another 3 years into the next decade. Incidentally, the opponent who alternated championship reigns during this time was his famous rival Ted Kid Lewis, who just missed the top 10 cut, finishing at number 11, just 18 points behind Britton. Number 9 is Mike Gibbons, an American boxer who is known for his stellar ability to slip punches in a subtle way that left him perfectly positioned to counter. The St. Paul Phantom never officially held the World Middleweight Championship, but he was one of about a half a dozen middleweights who made claims to the championship in the aftermath of Stanley Ketchel being murdered. Despite never winning the championship, Gibbons is still regarded as an all-time great middleweight. Number 8 is Harry Wilde, an American heavyweight who is known for having an unorthodox style that relied on great athleticism and reflexes, along with superb power. The Black Panther was known for being one of the best heavyweights in his day, and he was a 3-time world colored heavyweight champion, but he was never given the chance to fight for the world championship because of the color line that still persisted at this time. Wilde is widely viewed as one of the greatest heavyweights, and quite possibly the greatest heavyweight who never got a shot at the title. Wilde appeared on 12 out of 18, including 4 votes inside the top 5. Number 7 is Packey McFarland, an American boxer known for being exceptionally clever, with good movement, stellar defense, and a nice powerful offensive variety. Despite his extraordinary record, McFarland never got the opportunity to compete for a world title. And just a quick note, the BoxRec figures are there at the bottom as a point of reference. Records from that time aren't always complete, with certain fights difficult to verify. You may see the International Boxing Hall of Fame has a loss listed on his record. Some debate exists over whether that loss actually happened. For this survey series, we're using the current information on BoxRec, which is always updating. McFarland just missed the cut in the previous decade, but in the 1910s he appeared on 13 out of 18, including 6 votes inside the top 5. Number 6 is Tommy Gibbons, an American heavyweight who had the trifecta of speed, skills, and power. Tommy was the younger brother of Mike Gibbons, marking the Gibbons brothers as the first brotherly duo to land in the top 10 for any given decade to date. Gibbons landed on 12 out of 18, and for those of you paying attention, most of the boxers in this decade have only appeared on 12 or 13 out of 18. But the thing that provided Tommy with a huge edge in scoring is the fact that he received mention inside the top 5 on the list of 8 different volunteers. Number 5 is Benny Leonard, an American boxer best known for having outstanding all-around boxing ability to go along with his solid punching power. The Ghetto Wizard won the World Lightweight Championship in 1917, and he defended that crown for 8 years well into the 1920s. Leonard is widely viewed as one of the very best lightweights during the long, rich history of the division, and indeed, there are many who view him as the greatest lightweight ever. Leonard landed 6 votes inside the top 5, including 2 first-place votes. Number 4 is Jack Johnson, an American heavyweight. The Galveston Giant was known for being a sharp, crafty boxer with an uncanny ability to control the flow of a fight, and he was a master when it came to neutralizing an opponent, where his ample skills on offense and defense allowed him to force opponents to fight his fight. Johnson won the heavyweight world championship in 1908, and he defended that crown until he lost it in 1915. So Jack Johnson becomes the second boxer in the 13-part series to appear in the top 10 in multiple decades. Johnson finished number 2 in the survey from the previous decade, and here Johnson had 9 votes in the top 5, including 3 first-place votes. At number 3, we have the great Harry Greb. The Pittsburgh Windmill was an American boxer known for having extraordinary stamina, and as his nickname suggests, he had a relentless offensive approach where he was always looking to throw. Greb fought 16 fellow Hall of Famers during his illustrious career, and he is widely regarded as one of the very best boxers in history. Greb appeared on 13 out of 18 lists in the survey, but 12 of those 13 included Greb inside the top 5, which also included 6 first-place votes for the Pittsburgh Windmill. Number 2 is Jimmy Wilde. The Mighty Atom was a Welsh boxer who was known for having a somewhat unusual but effective style, where he exhibited enormous power, superb durability, and great ring intelligence, where he was very selective and economical with a tremendous understanding of range. Wilde won the World Flyweight Championship in 1916, and he reigned as such until 1923. To this day, Wilde is widely regarded as the greatest flyweight in boxing history. Wilde landed on 17 out of 18, with 14 having him inside the top 5, and he also had 1 first-place vote. And finally, at number 1, the great Sam Langford. The Boston Bone Crusher was a Canadian boxer best known for having outstanding punching power, amazing agility, supreme ring intelligence, and a great abundance of toughness and courage. Langford was another top black boxer from the era who was the victim of color line discrimination, although he did once challenge for the welterweight crown. Langford, however, faced anyone and everyone he reasonably could have faced between lightweight and heavyweight during his 24-year career. Between 1910 and 1917, the Boston Bone Crusher was a 5-time world-colored heavyweight champion. Langford appeared on 17 out of 18, with an impressive 15 mentions inside the top 5, including 5 first-place votes. So Langford had 1 less first-place vote than Greb, but he got 5 more mentions, 3 such in the top 5. So here is the final top 10 list from the 1910s. The thing that strikes me about this one is that there was more diversity from the 18 volunteers than we saw from the 13 volunteers last decade, or the 10 from the 1890s. Except for Langford and Wilde, none of the other guys finished on more than 13 out of 18, but I think that might speak to the strength of the era, where in addition to Kid Lewis just missing the cut, we had Jack Dillon, battling Levinsky, Johnny Kilbane, Freddie Welsh, and Jack Dempsey. And then we also have the only man to receive a first place vote outside the top 10, Les Darcy. So when you consider some of the all-time greats who did not make the cut, it starts making more sense that most of the top 10 only received 12 or 13 mentions out of 18. And then when you examine the top 5 more closely, you can really see what an extraordinary era this was. At number 5, you got Benny Leonard, who to this day is viewed by many as the very greatest boxer in lightweight history. In one of the original surveys I did a few years back, Leonard was effectively tied with Roberto Duran as the best lightweight of all time, with Duran edging him out in the tie-breaking criteria with 1 extra first-place vote. Then we have Jack Johnson, one of the most influential boxers in history, the first black world heavyweight champion, breaking the color line in boxing 40 years before Jackie Robinson did the same in Major League Baseball. And beyond that, the Galveston Giant is still generally viewed as an all-time great on his own merit. Then we have the man, the myth, the legend, the Pittsburgh Windmill, Harry Greb. Greb is viewed as one of the very best ever, the best of the best. He fared well in my older survey series as well, where he finished as the number 6 light heavyweight of all time, the number 1 greatest middleweight of all time, and he likewise finished with an impressive number 3 on the all-time survey. Then we have Jimmy Wilde, a man who is more or less universally recognized as the greatest flyweight to ever do it. You guessed it. He was another one who performed well in my previous survey, where Wilde was voted the number 1 flyweight in an absolute landslide. And finally, the Boston Bone Crusher, widely considered one of the very best to ever do it in the long, rich history of professional boxing. Once again, we're talking best of the best. One of the very best to ever do it. Langford ranked as the number 5 light heavyweight in my previous survey, and he likewise had a stellar top 5 finish in the all-time survey. So we have arguably the greatest lightweight ever in Benny Leonard, one of the most famous and revolutionary heavyweight champions in Jack Johnson, a bona fide boxing legend like Harry Greb, the greatest flyweight of all time in Jimmy Wilde, and then another legit badass legend like Sam Langford. Amazing to think what a powerhouse top 5 this is in the grand scheme of great boxing legends from the past. I think this is an overall damn fine list. And a very special thanks to the 18 participants who contributed to this boxing survey experiment. I really appreciate your time and commitment. Thank you very much. For those who want to participate in the remaining 10 from the series, I provided a link in the description, and all official submissions can be made in the thread over at boxingforum24.com. As a final thought, I found it interesting that in the 1890s, Bob FITZSIMMONS was practically a unanimous choice for the top spot, and then in the following decade it was the same sort of thing. Joe GANS was the clear choice here. Everyone had FITZSIMMONS and GANS in their top 5, and the large majority had them both in first for their respective decades. With Sam Langford, he easily won the scoring, but you had more diversity of opinions, with dissenting voices picking Jack Johnson and Harry Greb and Benny Leonard, Jimmy Wilde. I think it's indicative that this was a strong era, and that with more participants volunteering as we venture toward the present, and a greater knowledge of and access to boxing history in most cases as we progress, this was a damn interesting survey for me. I really enjoyed it, and I found it immensely thought-provoking. So what do you think? Please share your views in the comments section. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful night. This is Rummy's Corner.